Hi, my name is Dr. Navdeep Singh and I'm a member of the Sikh community here in Coventry, and I'm also the Education Secretary at Coventry's Guru Nanak Prakash Gurdwara. And today I'm going to be giving you a brief history about the Sikh festival known as Vaisakhi. But first, a history lesson. Now traditionally, Sikhs have originated from a place in North India called the Punjab, and the word Vaisakhi is actually a derivative of the word Vaisakh, and Vaisakh is the name of the second month in the Punjabi calendar, and the first of Vaisakh is the day on which the Vaisakhi festival takes place. And this year the first of Vaisakh correlates with the 13th of April, so that's when the festivals will be taking place this year. Now traditionally Punjab is majority farmland, so most of the Punjabis are farmers, and on the 1st of Vaisakh the celebrations will take place because the month of Vaisakh is all about harvest. So all those months of hard work for the farmers, growing their wheat, looking after their corn and their crops, would finally bear some fruit when they would do the harvest, and that's why they would rejoice and celebrate and have a great time. Now, the first of Vaisakh in the year 1699 was very different and very special, because what took place on this day has now become known as for the reason why Sikhs celebrate the festival of Vaisakhi. And that's because on this day in 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who is the 10th Guru of the Sikhs, the person in this image here, he created a spirit and a unique identity which transformed the lives of millions of people all around the world and continues to do so today. And that identity is called the Khalsa. So what happened on the 1st of Vaisakh in 1699? Well, to find out we'll have to go back 300 years in time to a place called Anandpur Sahib, which is a city in Punjab. And what happened is that Guru Gobind Singh Ji had asked all the Sikhs across the whole of India to get together in Anandpur Sahib so that they could celebrate the harvest festival together. So hundreds and thousands of people, Sikhs and non-Sikhs, all flocked to Anandpur Sahib where Guru Gobind Singh Ji was, so that they can celebrate together. And everybody was very excited to see what the Guru had planned for the celebrations that year. And as everybody had come together, the Guru Gobind Singh Ji came out on a raised platform so everybody could see them, and they addressed everybody. And to everybody's bewilderment, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they drew their sword and they said, "Is there anybody here who's willing to sacrifice themselves for the love that they have for God?" And people were quite shocked to hear that. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji then asked the question again, "Is there anybody here who's willing to sacrifice themselves for the love and the faith that they have in God?" And people were becoming very shocked at this point. And on the third time of asking, a humble gentleman called Dayaram stood up and came forward, and he said, "If it's my life that you desire, then it is yours." And Guru Gobind Singh Ji took Dayaram into a tent and he was sacrificed. And then Guru Gobind Singh Ji came out of the tent and with a bloodied sword addressed the whole of the congregation that was sitting there, and once again asked the same question: "Is there anybody here who's willing to sacrifice themselves for the love in the faith and their love for God?" And at this point people started to become very scared. There was some commotion, people were anxious and shocked, but some people remained absolutely calm, still, and full of faith and love for the Guru. And one of those people was called Dharamdas. And Dharamdas then stood up and he came forward. And just like Dayaram, Dharamdas was sacrificed. And at this point, a lot of the people who were attending had started to become very, very scared, shocked, and there was a bit of commotion. This then repeated itself 3 more times, so a total of 5 people were sacrificed. And after that had been done, to everybody's astonishment, Guru Gobind Singh Ji did something absolutely amazing. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they performed the very first Sikh initiation ceremony called an Amrit Sanchar, which you could say is something like the baptism ceremony for Christians. Now Guru Gobind Singh Ji, to the 5 deceased men who had sacrificed themselves, Guru Gobind Singh Ji created this Amrit, which is the holy water, and they sprinkled it into the 5 deceased people's eyes, in their hair and in their mouth, and then they told them to stand up, and lo and behold, the 5 of them stood up and they came back to life. And these were the 5 first initiated Sikhs into the Sikh nation, and they became known as the Panj Pyare, which means 5 beloved ones, because they sacrificed themselves in the name of love and their faith in Guru Gobind Singh Ji and their faith in God. And then after this, Guru Gobind Singh Ji then dressed them all in clean clothes and gave them 5 articles of faith to use in their daily lives. And these items are called the Panj Kakar. And the Panj Kakar literally means 5 Ks, because each of these articles, the names of each of these articles begins with the letter K. So we'll quickly go over what these 5 articles are. The first one is Kes. And Kes is basically uncut and naturally kept hair. Okay? And the significance of keeping one's hair is to remain as natural as possible in the way we are created when we are born. The second Kakar is a Ganga, and this is a small wooden comb which is kept in the turban of a Sikh, and the Ganga is to be used twice a day to comb our hair in the morning and in the evening before we go to bed. And the significance of that is to maintain our hygiene in ourselves, but also all the dead hair that we're combing away is a significance of combing all the negative energy that we've built up throughout the day, to make sure that we are combing all of that negative energy out and remaining as positive as possible. The third Kakar is called the Kara, and that's a steel bangle, and as you can see I'm wearing mine. And this, iron bangle, the significance of the iron bangle is essentially you see it as a handcuff to God, and your arm becomes an extension of God's arm. So basically we're using our limbs to perform those actions of God. The fourth Kakar is the Kirpan, and the Kirpan is a small sword, and again you can see I'm wearing mine. And this is to ensure that we protect ourselves, but also, more importantly, we protect those that can't protect themselves from injustices, tyranny, bullying, etc. And finally, the fifth Kakar is called the Kashera, and this is an undergarment which is worn all the time. And the significance of this undergarment is that we ensure that we are always clothed all the time, and also when we are older and get married, we can practice faithfulness to our spouses. So, after seeing this ceremony, then all the people were full of joy and relief, and their faith was reinforced in Guru Gobind Singh Ji and God. And a lot of people then came forward to become initiated into the Sikh nation themselves. And one of those people was Guru Gobind Singh Ji themselves. And the initiation ceremony took place, and a lot of the people then came into the Khalsa family on that day. Guru Gobind Singh Ji then gave all the initiated Sikhs a new surname. They said you are to drop your old surname and you are to adopt a new one. All the men were given the surname of Singh, and all the women were given the surname of Kaur. And Singh means prince or lion, and Kaur means princess or lioness. And the significance of this surname is that the purpose of stating what the type of character an initiated Sikh should have. And the type of character an initiated Sikh should have is one of royalty, bravery, and of the utmost high standards. So this is because in India at the time, everybody's surname could be associated with a discriminatory and degrading social caste system. And so Guru Gobind Singh Ji said that now all the initiated Sikhs have become casteless, and they belong to a unique family with a distinct identity, within a democratic and fair society where everybody will be treated equally and everybody's human needs shall be met. And this family is known as the Khalsa. So, as you can see, today there are millions of Khalsas or initiated Sikhs across the world who all try to live a life of faith, high moral standards and helping those who are in need. So let's fast forward 300 years, and so how is Vaisakhi celebrated today? Well, to celebrate Vaisakhi, lots of Sikhs will go to the Gurdwara, which is the name of the Sikh place of worship, and they will remind themselves of this story, and by doing so, those Sikhs who are not yet initiated into the Khalsa family will prepare themselves for initiation, and a lot of people on the 13th of April will attend the Amrit Sanskar ceremony, which is the initiation ceremony, and become Khalsas on that day. For those who are already initiated into the Khalsa family, they will remind themselves of the actions that are becoming of a Khalsa and reflect on their lives and their own actions to see whether they are still behaving like a Khalsa should be behaving, in terms of remembering God, helping the needy and becoming the best member of the society which they live in. Another popular celebration is called the Nagar Kirtan, and this is where the present Guru, Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the Holy Scriptures, they will take to the streets of the city in a very colourful display and parade throughout the streets, and this is an image here you can see. And all the Sikhs in the city will follow behind Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and it will be a very colourful, and everybody will be singing the praises of God, sharing lots of food and displaying lots of martial arts skills. So that is the festival of Vaisakhi, but let's bring some context into this. So right now we're all in very difficult times and everybody's in lockdown because of the coronavirus. But what good actions that are becoming of a Khalsa can we do at home whilst remembering the festival of Vaisakhi? Well, first of all, we can feed our vulnerable neighbours who might not be able to get food very easily. We can support our neighbours who live alone by sharing our time with them to make sure that they don't feel lonely. Another thing we can do is we can help our parents at home with the chores in the house. That's probably not going to be a very popular one with a lot of the students. The other thing we can do is we can teach our brothers and sisters things that they may not have learnt at school yet. Also, we can maybe help the animals and all the creatures within our gardens by making sure that we have a clean and litter-free environment in our gardens. And finally, maybe we can care for the environment by making sure that we're not wasting unnecessary energy by leaving our TVs and computers on all day. So I hope you found that informative, and for everybody who will be celebrating Vaisakhi this year, I wish you all a very happy Vaisakhi. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.